Hey folks, Paul here from Dusty Workbench. Today's video is about pipe clamps. If you're starting in woodworking or you're already in woodworking, you likely have one of these type of clamps, your typical pipe clamp. There's some good things about pipe clamps, some not so good things. I'm going to go over in this video more about the issues that you can have with using pipe clamps. Look at possible solutions on fixing those issues. I'm going to look at solutions one that I found online, and I haven't used them, so I'm going to use them here in this video and show you the results, whether or not they work or not. But also I'll be showing you how we have been using them and making sure that we can alleviate those issues that we've been having with these. And I would love to hear after this video, some comments down below to see if you have other options compared to what we've been using as a way to fix the problem that we have with these clamps. Just about the pipe clamps, we'll get right into it.
So here's the problem with these clamps. The point of pressure is in the middle of those black pads, which in this case when you're using like 1-inch boards or 3/4 inch boards, it's really putting pressure just on that top edge of the wood rather than down the middle of it, so that when we are going to be tightening up the clamp, you're going to see here in a moment, as we tighten up the clamp, that back or the left clamp, back part of the clamp tends to tilt. And also then it pushes up the wood upwards. Of course, now we're not having a nice flat surface because both ends, in this case, both edges, most of the one at the back is going upwards, so it's leaving that gap there. So a lot of times you're going to try and fix it by pushing it down, but that doesn't work. So one of the options that I've found online from some wood, I think some wood magazine, that they suggested using dowels so that you're redirecting the point of pressure into the center of the wood, because the dowels being round, it only pushes on the center of the wood, and that should fix the problem. So I gave it a try here, and it was looking like it was going to work until it still ended up lifting, especially at the back end again, once again, because of the back clamp tends to tilt upwards. As you can see, the front clamp where I tighten tends to push downwards, and that's just in regards to the design of these clamps, because one is where I'm tightening it is screwed into the pipe, whereas the other end is not, and there's a bit of play between the pipe and the clamp mechanism. I did try sticking something in there so that it doesn't have as much play and won't tilt up. But then it was, if you have 4 or 5 clamps and you have to put something in between and then you try to get it out after, it was a real pain. So I'm not going to bother doing that anymore. So the other option was to raise the wood so that the center of the wood is now in the center of those black pads. Here I only had 3/4 inch plywood, so it's actually a little bit too high probably. So here I'm going to give it a good tightening, and you'll see what happens this time. Instead of the edges raising, it's actually in the center that ends up raising up. So, and I had the same thing when I had the 1/2 inch board raising that wood as well. So again, unfortunately, this option does not seem to work. It's not an easy option, and it was a bit of a pain always trying to put something in between to raise it, and then of course you'd have to put paper so the glue doesn't stick to it as well. So yeah, it was really not a good fix. I thought the dowels would have been a good quick fix because you just have to have a couple of dowels or have some rounded edge wood to redirect, but that didn't work. So we're sticking to our original method, or option 3 here, of just using more clamps. As they say, you never have enough clamps. Well, yeah, this is why. It's because you're fixing the problems of other clamps when we're dealing with the cheaper ones here. So it's a matter of clamping down the edges and then using a clamping caul. I put some paper first, just as an example, if it was being glued, using a clamping caul. Here, I'll leave a link down below. You can make these or you can buy them as well. It's up to you, but they're really easy to make. And then clamping that down, and I would do that a couple of spots down the line. And it works every time. So
This is pretty much the Frankenstein thing that we end up looking at once we're all done clamping it. Usually at least on both ends, and then down the middle with these cross pieces here is enough to usually get everything nice and flat and keep that from gapping between the pipe and the pieces of wood underneath. So that means you do need at least 6, and that's what we have. We have 6 of these clamps, or 8 in case of, depending on the size of pieces that we make. But it works. It's just that it does take up a lot of clamps and a little bit more time. Do want to make some new clamping system, speed up our job when it comes to clamping and not having to use a whole Frankenstein system, and something that's more narrow that we can just hang up on the wall and have maybe 2 or 3 layers so that we can clamp, get them out of the way, and continue working on other projects in the meantime. So that is the plan anyway, so stay tuned. We might have videos on that soon. Hopefully sooner than later, because I'm really getting tired of these Frankenstein, this type of clamping system. So we'll see you here next time at Dusty Workbench. Of course, if you found this handy and helpful, then please, hit the like button. And if you want to see more of these, of course, subscribe to our channel. I'd love to see you here again the next time. Talk to you later.